Yeah, man. Ideas, it's ideas, man. Ideas, it's ideas, man. Ideas.
You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. And it's so clear to see that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. And it's so clear to see that you wanna be free.
Let's go.
Standing my ground, I can't mess around now. It's like my time is in a bottle. Buy your love, yeah. Now I know women's got this thing going on. We can't stay around so long, but I wanna come correct. Baby, get your foot off my neck. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. Understand clearly, that you wanna be free. It's the time that you spend making me think within. Is the trust still beginning? Fade away from beginning of the day. I can see you trembling times, and I can see you wondering mine. Is it me considered? Is you that's with it? See, you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee, and it's so clear to see, baby, that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free, yeah. I'm just trying to be the best I can. You can call me the troubling man. Matter of fact, I'm from the side of the street. Baby girl, you're calling on me at the time that I feel your presence around me. Something that I can't let go. It's your time, everything around me there. I just wanna hold on, but you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind me. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. I just wanna come correct best I can. Baby, get your foot on my neck. And just before you just leave, baby, I've been trying to tell you I can't breathe. You don't have to find me, baby, baby. I'm walking right behind me. It's so clear to see that you want me free. Damn pressure, baby. I just want
Kris the Critic Relationship Hour with Gina B. Why you are not married. Number one, you ain't all that. I know that's hard for y'all to swallow. I don't look as good as my 22-year-old self. People need to realize that. You just ain't all that. And I get it. I got this master's degree. I went to this school, that school. I worked hard for this job, for this house. And then she over there got that man. And you don't have one. Men are very simple creatures. So, ladies, for you very accomplished ladies, I got some advice for them.
What's that?
I always say it like this. You can write this one down. Be a kitten, not a cat. What does that mean, Kris?
What does that mean?
You ever played with a kitten? It's real friendly. It almost acts like a puppy. And you want to play with it. You want to look at the little kitty. It just makes you feel good. Now, have you ever seen an adult cat? When it feels like it, it might rub against your leg and move away. But is that men like kittens?
Kittens will play with anybody. A cat is particular.
Listen, what did we learn? Men are very simple creatures.
Right.
You can fool us. We want you to laugh at our dumb jokes. So all you super smart women out there, you good looking women, you see a guy you like, you guys do make it out on a date, he actually pays for the date. When you're actually with that person, the dialogue is happening, the dinner is happening, you say, okay, this might work, this might work. It would help if you act a little blind.
Oh my God. Becky.
I mean, you're gonna hear me say that a lot. I mean, be nice to
So
them.
you-
If
okay.
you hear the worst
That's
joke ever, but if you sort of like them, laugh at it. There you go. Hey, it's a lot of married women out there. If we got any married women chiming in,
Look, maybe
if
y'all
I'm
are
telling a
little
lie,
funnier. That one's a fake laugh.
let me know.
What
Right.
you're saying is that we should cater to the male ego, and that's what's ultimately going to get us married.
I'm first saying recognize that I think some of us, more women than men, look in the mirror.
Uh-huh.
You ever seen a little lion look in the mirror and see somebody real big? They see somebody a little more fine than what they are. And I'm not calling anybody ugly, so I'm not here to bash anybody.
Let's look at Middle America, okay?
Okay.
Middle America is not attractive.
They're not?
Middle America is largely married.
Okay, I think we're on the same page then. People sort of,
Yeah.
we get stuck to reality shows sometime and think we're supposed to have, I got a degree in the house, so I'm supposed to have Idris Elba or his twin.
Well, I mean, if you notice, okay, so you remember your friends from high school, right? And you
I do.
remember how
Same friend.
they had all of these qualifications for, if she's going to lock me down, she got to be this, that. She's got to have an ass like, bam.
That's all
she's
we
gotta
really
be-
looked at. Stop right
And
there.
then-
You had me at that's really what are men? Simple creatures. We want to be fed.
But-
We want you to laugh at us, give us some, and that's
Okay,
it.
but
Oh, baby. I mean, I know that you're here with me and everything, but since you just left a few hours ago, I've just been going crazy. And I done come to realize one thing. Oh, baby, I miss you. Yeah. Ooh, baby, oh, darling. Whoa, 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 whoa. Your love must be some kind of drug, baby. 'Cause it just keeps on calling me. And I just need a hit of your love. It's got me shaking and feeling for your touch. Baby, of you I can't get enough. It feels like I done OD'd on you, babe. I'm addicted for you. Can't stop loving 'cause I can't get enough of you, babe. 'Cause I'm so addicted to you. This must be love. 'Cause I can't get enough of your loving. I'm so addicted for you. Can't stop loving. I need you right now, baby. 'Cause I'm so addicted to you. You're always on my mind, my mind, my mind, every day. It's been too long since I had you in my arms, and I don't know if I can take any more of being without you. Even though it's only been an hour, it feels to me just like forever. And I am hoping that I can see you soon. See you soon. I'm so addicted. Lord have mercy. I can't be without you, baby. Oh no, not for a minute, not for an hour. I can't get enough. I'm so addicted.
What's going on, people? Welcome to the Kris and Gina Relationship Show. Happy Tuesday to you.
It is Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
It is.
These two ladies to my left, your right, my right, your left. First, my right, your left. Welcome back to the show. Chicken.
Hello.
You got to talk real close into the mic for folks.
Real close. Hello.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
going to be
you
like
for the
a
invite.
regular one here sometimes. And you know this person here, the smart, the beautiful, the successful Gina B.
And the crowd goes wild. Hi, everybody.
And I am the man in the middle, Kris the Critic. Thank you all for joining on National Donut Day.
Oh,
I actually had a donut.
did you? What kind?
It looks maple.
Oh, a maple donut. I
That's
haven't
all I
had
eat
a
is a
donut
maple
in
donut.
years. Actually, that's not accurate. I've had one donut.
Everybody in my family likes those cake donuts, like chocolate.
Oh, yes.
I cannot stand them.
Blueberry cake is awesome.
You like the blueberry? Okay, she's
That's
having
a-
a
I didn't even know-
religious experience.
I didn't even know
over
that
here
was a
about the
thing.
donut. Yeah, you know what? I don't. I think I like donuts.
You think?
I just don't let myself eat them.
Oh.
Watching your girlish figure.
I just don't think. I don't know. I just don't think they're a great idea to eat all the time.
It's
That's just who
also
I am.
it's also another big day today.
What is that?
It is
Voting.
Election Day.
Election.
It is Election Day,
Which
or it should be. If you're in Illinois, you're hoping it's Kamala Day.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm just having a hard time being hopeful about the world right now.
It kind of sucks.
It really, it's terrible that this election is as close as it is. I just don't know what we're going to wake up to.
Do you all think we need like at least one or two more parties? I need some more options. No,
Yes.
I wouldn't mind some
I'll
options.
drink to that.
Yeah,
I mean, drink the apple juice to
I need
that.
some options.
Like other options of
Yeah. So those are only 2 days of it. It's National Donut Day,
yeah.
and
National
it is
Donut Day.
it's Election Day.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
So
Don't come in here with all that Trump shit. FYI.
Uh-oh.
Trump went.
Don't
well,
even- don't. Just don't.
And
Chris
don't forget,
hold
you
on.
know,
The
this-
Kris and Gina relationship show is not politically affiliated in any way, shape, or form
Shit.
with either candidate.
That's very good.
Okay,
to
we
say.
had to get that out of there. We never know
That's
what
good to say.
we never know what future money's coming from.
I mean,
Kris and Gina could get picked up by Fox Network, and we going.
That's right.
are we?
Hell yeah, we going. We going where the checks are.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget it's
Chicken.
also
You'll be right.
Scorpio month, and so
Is your birthday this month?
People are celebrating.
It was her
birthdays.
birthday. She's
Oh,
been celebrating
yeah.
her
My
birthday.
birthday.
You know,
until
she's
the
been eating
21st.
steak.
We've been eating steak.
She's
we saw you.
been on. Okay,
She's
so
like, I'm at the basketball game.
Are you one of those
I'm
people?
eating steak.
Are you one of those people that like celebrates for a whole month, or are you?
Just starting in November 1st, and I go until Scorpio season is over. So I think that's what 21st or 22nd.
Well, that's when Super Sign season starts.
Yeah, I never heard that
That's
before.
when Super Sign season.
I never
Super
heard that
sign
before.
season? I don't know
Season of
what
the
that is.
Sagittarius. is next
Oh,
one.
that's what's happening.
Big parties, big things. happening.
Big parties
Big,
happening
big, big, big,
for the Sagittarians, who are the kind of the devil, but that's okay.
So for today's show,
Yeah, we have a guest.
we have a guest, and we have a guest. We'll bring him in. Let's bring him in now so we can talk about the show.
Yeah.
So we bring in
Khalid.
Khalid Scott, who's kind of a professional in this area.
He's a
right.
pro.
Is he on? He's coming in shortly. So today's show is actually called Choices and Trade-Offs.
Yep.
There's a good-looking brother.
Hey, how you doing, Khalid?
Hi.
Khalid, how you doing?
Thanks for having me, everyone.
Thanks for being here. We
He
appreciate
just
it.
has a voice for radio, TV, all that. Khalid, meat chicken,
Hi.
and
That's your real name?
that's what we said.
Everybody asks. Would you care to explain why people call you chicken?
Yeah. Can you explain the brother?
Because folks will ask.
I've had the name since I was 16 years old. I had my first job at North Pier. I had to pick my food and stand in line with all the crowd, and everything I ate in the palm of my hand, like I had a little beak, like I had a little chicken, and they called me Fudge Princess Chicken Hawk.
That is.
Wait, fudge
You
princess?
need to use the
I didn't
whole,
know that part.
You need to use the whole name.
It used to be Fudge Princess, and it was just Princess Chicken Hawk, and then it was
You
just
need
chicken.
to do the whole thing.
And you let that stick, huh?
It caught. I was 16 and it caught, and then I went off to college, and
Your
then
mom
it
was
caught,
like, I
and then it
know
stayed.
that
Yeah,
no
it just
one's
was-
calling my baby. Yeah.
Well, thank you both for joining the show. Today's show is on choices and trade-offs in relationships many times. if you decide that you want, even boyfriend and girlfriend, you decide you want a boyfriend, there's some things that maybe you can't do anymore. You want a wife or a husband, there's some things you may have to do differently. You want a kid but don't want the man, or want the kid and don't want the wife, some things you got to do differently.
Right.
There's always some sort of trade-offs. So we'll talk about those. Khalid, I apologize for inviting you late, but as I thought more about the show, nothing against you, but you're sort of a regular person in this thing. He sort of does this for a living.
Okay.
Maybe you can let folks know your title, Brother Khalid Scott.
Absolutely. Thank you again for having me, family. My name is Khalid Scott. I'm licensed clinical social worker, and I'm also in private practice where I do both individual and marriage therapies.
Awesome.
There's got to be a booming business right now.
It
There
sure
are
is.
a lot of people. Khalid, the last time you were on, you weren't on that long ago, and the last time you were on the show, you talked pretty openly about the volume of people that are getting divorced.
Yes.
And
And
are
the
you still? Is that number
Yeah, and the
increased?
number has went up. The number has went up to 23 now that I know of.
Wow.
That I know personally.
23 couples.
Yes.
are getting
46
divorced.
folks. That's a lot of
Yes.
folks. Are any of these being saved, or possibly, or are they all they're done?
They're done. They're in the either they finalize their divorce or they're in the process.
Wow.
The lawyers have been called on and paid for retainer fees, and talking about custody issues. If that's it, splitting, getting ready to move out the houses, everything. So it's a wrap, and we all are in our 50s and 60s.
Oh, they're all in their 50s and 60s.
Yeah, remember he talked about that before.
Wow.
He's it's something about this age, people just getting tired of each other.
And so do you attribute
Not
it?
my age.
Do you attribute it though to? I can imagine where people, when they become empty nesters and then they realize they don't have anything together in common anymore. Is that what?
The majority of the couples who are splitting, the youngest child or the last of their children turned 18 to 20 years old and went away to college or moved out. And when I've talked to my friends, the first thing they said was, Khalid, I should have divorced this person years ago, but I wanted the Cosby Show. I wanted the Heathcliff and Claire Huxtable with the 5 kids, and I didn't want my kids to grow up in a single parent home or a broken home, but I stayed. And now that the children are not there, they were my buffers. They were the buffers. And now that my buffers are gone, I cannot stand another day in that house with that person.
Not one more day.
Not one more day.
Not one more. That's so sad.
But
yes,
that's very sad. So okay, so now the point of this show though is choices and trade-offs, and so there are things that you give up when you get married or get into a serious relationship. What do you think? And ask both of our guests. Khalid, we'll start with you. What do you think are the pros and cons of marriage, and what do you gain or give up when you decide to get married?
Well, for me, because even though I'm divorced, I'm still pro-marriage, hands down.
Okay. Why
because
is that?
The thing is that I grew up in a single-parent home, and you have too many of these scenarios where your mom, if she's the single parent, has to play both mom and dad, or vice versa. When I got divorced, my daughter was 10, so I was the one that had to go out and buy pantyhose and sit in the hair salon for 4 hours. And when my daughter turned 12 and got on her womanhood, I had to go to Target and buy her stuff, and things you don't even think you ever have to do as a parent, especially if you have your child is the opposite sex of you, you have to learn how to do. And I have a friend now, she's a single mom with a son, and her son hit her the other day because he got mad at her.
Shit.
How old is this kid?
14.
It don't matter.
Well, is he 3?
It don't
14.
matter.
14.
14.
Yeah, she needs to ship him off to dad's house
his
for
daddy.
a good weekend, or somebody's house, a strong uncle.
Yeah. And so the thing is, I always believe that it takes two. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is we don't do the preparation, or even if we do the preparation, after 20-something years, you're changing. You're changing. You're not the person you was in 2000, and this is 2024. You know what I'm saying? And what happens, and I always say this, That pandemic, guys, changed us. It changed us.
You
because
mentioned that before. You think the pandemic really had some long-term effects?
Absolutely. If you talk to any lawyer, if you talk to us therapists, our businesses are booming now, right? Because Kris, think about it. You sat in the house for 2.5 years, every day with your spouse and your kids. I had parents say, wow, now I understand how hard it is to be an educator because I didn't want my kid in the house with me every day.
Sitting there stewing at the person like this, just mad about it.
Glowering at them. Like,
Right. And then think about it. Whatever used to perturb you about your spouse, it got heightened because they were there with you 7 days a week, day in and day out. But before, you used to go to work. You used to go to the gym. You used to go and get your manicure and pedicures. So you learned how to navigate each other. But now you got stuck together. And you found out, I don't like this person I'm married to.
Yeah, or the opposite could happen because I got engaged during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
I got engaged in 2020. Yeah. And in September of 2020. But the funny thing is that we were both kind of grinding. Like, it was, I would be in my office all day. He'd be in his office all day. I was busy working. We like figured it out. And so we still weren't, like, we're fortunate enough to have our own space in the house. So I think that helped.
You do have a huge place.
It is not huge. It is smaller than a lot of houses.
My family could stay in Gina B's house.
And your house is bigger than mine.
Anyway, let's ask, because I want to come back to you, because for you two, for two different reasons. You're recently single.
Yes.
So now I'm guessing you sort of think back before you were married, and now you're sort of single again. What do you think are some of the good things? Because now you feel a little free. You don't have responsibility to some guy. You can wear, probably, you can date, obviously. But what are some of the things that you enjoy as a single person? And what are some of the things that maybe you miss a little bit when you were married?
So one of the major things I missed about marriage is the faithfulness. I was married twice, and both of my husbands were faithful. We were faithful to one another. There was never a reason to even consider that anybody would cheat, because I'm a Scorpio, but I'm just saying. So,
oh, my God.
Scorpios don't cheat, for the record. We got it.
No,
okay.
Scorpios don't cheat, and there's no need to cheat on a Scorpio either. I'm just saying. Beep, beep. Anyway.
She'll wring you dry.
So I missed that part. The faithfulness part. I miss the concept of knowing that you have dependability, and obviously I miss the two incomes.
Right. I was waiting on somebody to say that.
Yes, I definitely miss the two incomes.
Yeah.
Part of the things that I enjoy now of singleness is being able to make decisions just for me. I was at a restaurant today with someone, and a guy started choking, and I thought he was choking, and I looked over, and the guy I'm with, he says, well, what were you going to do? And so I was like, well, if he was choking, I know the Heimlich, I would assist, walk people through the system. And he just gave me this grotesque look like, no, you wouldn't. You would sit your ass right here.
And watch him die?
Right, pretty much. And I was just sitting here like.
Controlling A?
I miss being able to make decisions for myself.
I mean, you can still make decisions for yourself.
No, I'm just saying that's part of the being in a relationship.
Right.
Like, because if I was in a relationship, I would sit my ass right there and I would not move because my man said this is where I sit.
Just let him die. Fuck it.
Well, that would be his choice.
I know, right?
But that would, yeah.
Now, what about you, Gina? Even though you were dating for a long,
we dated a really long time,
but you haven't been married that long. Any differences before and after? Is anything you noticed, or?
Yeah, he's fond of telling me that I'm stuck with him. It's so funny.
I say that all the time.
But I'm, please, there are divorce attorneys. I'm not stuck anywhere. But no, I mean, real talk. But the thing is, it's you choose it every day when you're not married, right? Every day that you're not married, it's like I wake up and choose this relationship on a daily basis because it's like no one is chaining anyone anywhere. There's no legal, which is a testament to we were together for like 14 years before we got married. So, and it's really not that different.
Can I just say this real quick? I think that my marriage, my last marriage failed because we got married. Because we were in a very committed relationship for about 8 years prior to us actually getting married, maybe 7 years. We were committed. I was committed from the beginning, but like we did our thing. And then when we got married, it was like, for me, something clicked. Like it was like a twitch, and it was like, now you're my wife. And then, okay, you're my wife. And then he started introducing me as his wife, and it became this itch of, and I always felt, I want you to treat me like I'm your girlfriend, because I can leave at any given point, just like I'm gonna treat you like you're my boyfriend, because you can leave at any given point. And I think that when we got married, he started treating me like he was my husband and not like he was my boyfriend.
Wait a minute. Isn't that a nice thing?
Which one?
Right.
I'm gonna need you to schedule a session with.
No,
Khalid.
I'm saying when
this,
you
'cause it
are a
sounds like-
boyfriend, you tend to court, you tend to date,
Oh, I see
because you
what you're
don't
saying.
want other people to do certain
got
things.
sort of-
Well, when you're a husband, it becomes mundane. All you're doing is taking care of bills, you're taking care of business, you're making sure stuff is done. And he did that. You know, he was a provider. And everything was now about, no, I'm not buying you anything because I provided this mortgage for you. I provided this house for you. Oh, I'm not going to be taking you shopping for anything anymore. That all that's done, those gifts and stuff are done, because now I provide this lifestyle for us. We have this, we have that.
We're gonna bring this same foursome back, and we're gonna have a whole show on that.
Anyway, go ahead.
One of the differences between, I mean, I don't really, it's funny, I didn't necessarily feel so much different.
Khalid, what do you? Because Khalid was married as well. I want to hear what sort of things do you enjoy now, back being single? We heard of some of the things that you had to do, but what are some things you enjoy now that you're single? And what's some of the things that you enjoyed when you were married? Because you did say you were pro-marriage. So what did you enjoy?
Right. I enjoyed that I lived the Huxtable life. I enjoyed that I was a professional. I was married to a beautiful professional. We traveled the world. My daughter has went to all 7 continents of the world.
And you all three do look, I know you're not married, but you all look awesome together. I've seen your photos. It's a good looking group. Let's just put it out there.
Thank you. And I enjoyed saying that I'm a husband, especially, again, growing up fatherless and in a single parent home, right? And, I've always told people, I was honest, my mom was a mistress, right? So I had a married man come into my house for 16 years, right? So the thing is that, man, I had to dispel that image of saying, man, well, maybe let me carry that and do that. Right. I'm like, no, I'm my own wife. You know what I'm saying? And so and then buying the home and everything that goes with being married, and just a partner to love and who somebody to love on you. But I'm a Cancer who was married to a Scorpio. And if you all know about that dynamic.
I think Chicken was trying to explain that to us earlier
when
about the dynamic of a Scorpio.
Right, when the Scorpio and Cancer come together, because we so like-minded, it's fantastic. But when we go the opposite direction, we become polar opposites, right?
Yep.
And we just had to go our separate ways. And it was good we did, because that toxicity, my daughter didn't have to grow up seeing that toxicity.
Right, that's good.
Right, and now as a single man, right? Well, so, I told you all before, I'm in a buddy with benefits relationship, to add on what Chicken said. And the only difference is, though we're in a situationship, it's like a relationship minus the expectations. We date each other. And it's something about when you give a title, it changes the paradigm.
Yes.
It changes the paradigm, because, again, you get lazy. You're mine. I'm yours. But when you have a buddy with benefits, oh, no, you got to stay on top of your game.
Well, because I could get pulled out from under you at any time. I mean, there's no commitment there. That's just like you about as committed for the next 20 minutes as you might be for the next, you know what I mean? I mean, real talk, there's no, I'm committed to this orgasm. And then after that, I'm up out. That's pretty much it for that. So
but I want to add on. We've been together 3 years now.
You're friends with benefits?
Awesome.
Buddy with benefits for 3 years. Next month, next week, will be 3 years.
And so is there no like, hey, this is my girlfriend? You just aren't, you're not about that title life.
He's like, this is my situationship. Now I'm hers.
My situationship.
Yeah.
And
I had
hear
situations
me out.
before.
And hear me out. We've never had one argument.
Because what do you have to argue about?
Right.
Right. Absolutely.
What you gotta be upset with me for? Yes. What you
Absolutely.
got to lie to me for? There's no reason.
Yeah, you know, because that person's still not integrated into your life, which is a whole different. Here's my question though. So, what were you gonna say?
I just want to add in a little bit on that.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Well,
A little bit.
only because he reminded me when he mentioned pro-marriage. I am pro-marriage. However, I can see a good fraction of our population moving to a model similar to what he described for a couple of reasons. I think, you know, marriage, obviously people like being single, they like dating, but you do give up a lot. I think marriage, to be quite honest, benefits men a lot.
It does.
It allows a man to focus
really
on his
does.
career. Our health
It does.
tends to be more. I do think, at least from the studies I look at, women end up living longer and having more money when they're single because their money is going elsewhere. But they're not always, at least in recent decades, the happiest. So there's a give and trade on there. For men,
I can see that.
yeah, because you sort of feel fulfilled. It wears you out taking care of kids and grandkids and a sick husband, but it is fulfilling.
Being a wife is kind of it will dry you, it will wear you out. Like it's just because people don't always like your contributions aren't as recognized as a wife. Like when you're a girlfriend and you're making contributions, it's like everyone's like, "Oh, she's a good, that's a good woman." When you're a wife, it shifts to expectation, and you're still trying to live your life. You know what I mean? Like you still, like if you're a pretty productive person, pretty busy person, you have all of that and it's layered on the expectation.
And I think as women, and thankfully women have more rights. You make more money. You can make your own money. You have
Hopefully
to be,
after the next couple of days, we don't retain
I'm saying you don't
them.
have to be dependent on anyone. The expectation has changed where you want to do more.
Right.
That's just, you want to do more than just this. So I do think, I don't know, I wonder if, and I've never thought about this, because I can think about being a single man. Well, okay, I'm free now, but I like being married. But
Well, of
I
course
like
you
somebody to go home to, watch TV with.
Yeah.
Because the majority of your life, you're not dating, you're doing something.
I always say that everything before marriage is for the woman and everything after that's for the man. That's
It
what I
might be,
usually tell
because
people.
men do all the romantic stuff, to your point, before we get married.
Because they gotta lock you
Women
down.
sit back, put their hands behind their head, and say, "Let me receive the gifts and the meals and the food."
You better receive them all before
So
you get married.
I tell men who are going through this, because some men come just by virtue of the show, and Khalid probably hears this a lot. Women aren't intimate with the guy anymore. It's because men have to continue to date. They got to keep up with the times. And I try to tell dudes that you better act like you don't know when you're doing it.
Yeah, right.
So I'm
All
just
right,
saying.
so
Go ahead.
let's-
I'm sorry. I didn't
Okay,
mean-
so what impact does having a family and kids actually impact your career? Because I could imagine, like, okay, let me just give you.
this is tough for
I'll
women.
preface this. So, in my very first job out of college, I worked in corporate. I worked in consulting, and there was this colleague that I had that was pretty young too. He's he's a few years older than me, but still young. And he was like getting married, and I was like, "Why are you getting married so early? You're 24 years old or something." And he goes, "No, this is the way you do it."
He knew what was up.
This white boy, right? He's like, "No, the way you do it is you get married early, and then you have home base nailed down, and you can, focus on
Absolutely.
you don't have to chase like chicks, and then all you have to do is focus on your career,
Right,
Like that's
because someone else is sort of focusing on all your other stuff.
right? And the woman that he married, pretty productive person. Like she's an attorney. She was, to be her age, she was pretty. But he's CEO of a publicly traded company right now.
I was just gonna say a man's career it's tougher for women. I'm sorry, let me clarify. It's tough for the woman who wants to do both.
Right.
Because she has to challenge more. There's nothing wrong with a woman not being married. There's nothing wrong with somebody getting divorced. Say, you know what, I did that. I want to focus on my career. But it's tough doing both.
And it's almost like, okay, so I made a personal choice when I was younger. I knew that I wanted to have a career and do cool things, and I knew that I wanted to, like, I didn't.
Are you saying that married women don't do cool things?
No, but I didn't want to have kids, right? Like I just never.
Well, if you knew that, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I was just like, huh. So there was a certain type of guy that I wasn't gonna date because and I dated a lot of really nice guys who on the first date, for some reason, they told me they wanted to have multiple. I was like, ooh, I'm not the right one for you. You want to have multiple kids. Let's go. We're one and done here because no one's going to win, right?
Right.
I would never preclude someone from having the family they want to have, and I'm not going to make him force me to, whatever. So I delayed my serious relationship situation because I knew that there was stuff that I just wanted to do for myself.
Well, that was smart. Well, that way you ensure the success of it, right?
Right. That means everybody's happy.
Yeah. I didn't plan things in the right order. I had a kid out of wedlock, oops, like this. That made things difficult.
Yeah.
So you have to readjust. The story turned out good because I had a different type of village supporting me.
Right.
And her mom was awesome, but it could have been not so pleasant. You know what I'm saying?
It could have been very unpleasant.
Which is why, well, I just think, I think about women having a difficulty now being professional. You do real estate.
Yes.
And so you think about how you got to move around. If your kids were younger, that would be tough.
How old are your kids, Chicken? You have how many?
100. I have 2.
100?
She's like
No,
100.
I
It
mean,
may
they're
as well be
100 years
100?
old. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have a 20-year-old and a 22-year-old.
Oh, okay. Okay, so your kids are grown.
So I had my kids, opposite story. I had my kids from my first marriage, and I got married at 22.
Okay.
And I got married because it was traditionally the right thing to do.
That's what you're supposed to do, right?
I was the woman at the well, and my husband found me at the well. I was Christian, and this was a godly thing to do. And so I, unlike Mr. Khaled here, I don't believe in marriage anymore because I believe that people change so often. And I think the concept of marriage, the way they have it now, until they change it, I think the way they have marriage now, it's so binding.
It's
and
never changed.
Things should change, because if they can change the concept of a man and a woman, and if they can change as much as they've changed, and they can overturn Roe versus Wade, I'm sure there can be some changes with regards to marriage being forever and ever and ever.
Well, I had a
death
thought
do
that
us part.
What would happen if I always thought this is always think about these weird things where, how about after 7 years you can decide whether or not you want to re-up?
Term marriage. Term marriage is where we should be right now.
No. Yeah.
We should be in
No.
term marriage
No.
because what happens is we can say, hey, this is our term. We were supposed to go for 10 years. We did this 10 years. It didn't work. And goodbye. It's okay. And you have a contract within that time.
And
to
it'll
say, this is what
dissolve
happened.
unless
Or-
you re-up
And
it.
dissolve.
Or you just
you have to renew it.
Or just get rid of alimony and get rid of child support, and people will only get married for the right reason.
No, I don't know about that.
Ooh.
No. Alimony and child support has nothing to do with happiness.
Well, that's
No,
why a lot
nothing to do with
of
it.
wait a minute.
That's a lot of people
It's
stay married.
easy for women to walk away if they married right. See, if you knew you weren't going to get anything, you wouldn't marry frivolously, and you wouldn't walk away frivolously.
Well, unfortunately.
Does that make sense?
Unfortunately.
Does that make sense?
Unfortunately, I would have to disagree with that because my first marriage, I paid child support when I left.
Oh,
I had
Jesus.
boys, and my boys needed to be with a man, and I couldn't teach them how to be men. So that was my choice. My second marriage, we didn't have any children, but we both had assets. And when I walked away, we talked about the stuff in which that we needed. I didn't need maintenance
Prenup.
because I made money.
Well, generally speaking, there are always exceptions, but generally speaking, it doesn't go that way.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, without looking at,
What-
because nobody asked me for my statistics.
Is that my phone or your
That's
phone?
probably my phone.
It's definitely not mine.
Gina B,
mine.
Jesus Christ. What's the
What?
next question on the list for Brother Scott?
Well, the next question on the list, I did ask about, that was the next question. Okay, so there are plenty of characteristics in long-term partners to
Whoa.
consider.
You're just going real fast. I didn't.
There's a lot of characteristics to
Oh,
consider.
yeah, I
when
wanna
you're
hear what he
choosing
said.
a long-term partner. So, what are must-haves? Like if you're going to get married, say you were going to get married again. Like Khaled, if you're going to change your friends with benefits structure, what would be the thing that you would look for?
And what could you possibly live without a little bit that maybe you thought you needed previously? Like, what are your must-have characteristics? And what are things? Because you can't have everything.
No, you can't.
Absolutely. So what has worked in this buddy with benefits scenario is that my lady friend has just as a busy life as I do.
Okay.
Okay.
We got together. She was a principal and she was working on a PhD. I work for the federal government during the day and I have a private practice at night. And so when we got together, it was every weekend. And when we got together, it was like she has to deal with kids. I have to deal with veterans and clients. So we vented to each other, right? Because they had that commonality.
Right.
And then we like let it go and let's enjoy each other's time. So I want a woman who's just as busy as I am. Whereas I'm not looking for you to fill me up. You're not looking for me to fill you up. But when we do get together, we enjoy each other's company.
So you can just
And
bang
then
it
I
out
want
when
somebody I want someone who compliments me. So like I'm a dresser, right? I dress head to toe. My ex-wife was a tom girl. So I would buy her clothes, buy her shoes, get her hair done. But the reality is she didn't like it, right? But see, I grew up with a mother who was a mistress to a sugar daddy. So I watched Mr. Lee get my mother had a Anita Baker cut. She had to get it done every Friday. He had 3-inch nails. They got painted every week. He bought her tailor-made dresses and fur coats. So I thought that's what women wanted. But again, I married
so your love language was
that's a good point.
Gifts.
Right.
Yeah.
Then hers was what? What was her love language?
Hers was just, well, it's when you're a free spirit, you don't like authority. But she was loyal to me. And I think she really tried to be my Claire Huxtable. But she was really Denise Huxtable.
Oh,
right?
I got you.
So, and again, you just got to compliment each other. And then most important that I could not negotiate, I got to know that you are in love with you and not an arrogant love. But Khalid, no, you will never treat me this way. I'll walk away from you, dude. And
I think my husband's clear on that.
And
Did he walk away from you?
No, I won't.
Right.
If he
a
wasn't
woman
before,
who
he is
has
today.
that, a woman who has that, then her man will know I can't try her like I would try another woman I would hurt her, but if she lets me back, I'll just keep doing it again.
Exactly. That's the problem. If you allow certain behavior, you will see it again because you said it. But okay.
I think that's an awesome trait to have, what he was saying. But I think both sexes need that.
Both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because to be quite clear, most men don't leave women. I don't care if it's boyfriend or girlfriend.
There's reasons.
Well, women get bored.
Yes.
These days,
but
it's not
because men check out. Don't miss that part.
Again,
men check out, and then
I know we
leave
like to believe that a woman has never done anything wrong.
That is not what we're
on her
saying.
own.
That is not what we're saying. Now we're saying.
How about she just got fucking bored?
I'm saying she got bored because things changed in a relationship because the man checked out.
What? No, men don't always check out. Sometimes the man is exactly who he was, and it's not his role to entertain you. He's not a clown. But again, that we have a difference.
We have a difference.
theories.
We're not even gonna go down that rabbit hole because it gets
But I'm just
murky.
saying, it's sometimes, I think most of the time, it's what you all said earlier. I'm in agreement. People grow apart. I think the couples that make it long term communicate more. So we're keeping track of each other, what she needs and what he needs throughout the relationship. If there's a long time that goes by, or you guys are poor communicators, at some point you guys will be far apart.
To your point, I think that that is an exception. The couples this is my opinion. Again, I'm not jaded, but this is my opinion.
You're not?
I'm not.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Married twice, but will never get married again.
I won't.
But you're not
Because
jaded.
I'll say that because I know me. Like,
Okay.
I know I walked away from 2 marriages, 2 good men. So I'm saying I don't believe in marriage for me. I'm
But
not
you
saying I'm
used
for the
to.
whole world. I used to what?
Believe in marriage.
Because I was forced to.
Twice?
Twice.
I don't buy that.
Well, I'm just saying the first time it was because I was a Christian and you're supposed to do that. The second time it was because I was being doused down with gifts and they was like, well, this is what you're supposed to do.
So he
Might as well
broke you
marry.
down.
Yeah, I don't.
I was bought. I ain't gonna lie, I was bought.
Well, you weren't forced.
Yeah, you were bought. Okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wasn't like nobody handcuffed
Nobody
me and said
chained
you
her to
gotta
the
do
wall.
this. But,
Right.
that was the time frame that I was in at that time, and I know me now. So I'm just saying I know me. I've learned myself, and I know exactly what I want and exactly what I need. And marriage, long-term marriage, the term marriage, is not something in which that I can deal with. For
I
me.
got it.
Well,
I
Under
was
those
talking,
terms,
but
though.
I guess I missed my point. But go ahead.
There's a whole concept of forsaking all others, which is the vow you take when you get married, right? Most people do.
Richer for poor. It's a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
but the forsaking all others is important, and people, it's one that people don't really take as seriously as they should. So that means that you are the most important people to each other, irrespective of family,
right,
and irrespective of your own kids, right? It's the two of you first,
Yes.
and then everybody else next.
Yes.
And there are people who, and a lot of the people that I know that are getting divorced now, they have gotten to a place where they like worship their children, they worship their family, like they get, and then that's, you know,
they
you
worship
have to-
themselves
you have
too.
to keep-
I ain't happy.
But you have to keep that connection with the spouse.
Absolutely.
Like that's really the most important thing.
And going back to my point that he stopped me on, I think that more often than not, I think there are couples that are happy, but I do not think that is the norm. I think the norm is there are more couples that are just drifting through the relationship because we ain't doing nothing else. They are unhappy, and they are actually not communicating, not because they don't want to, but because they're just unhappy. And it's just like, this is all
Why
I'm gonna
bother?
do. Why bother? Why bother be out in these streets again?
let me
then
let me challenge
Go
you.
ahead, because I know you can't talk and listen at the same time.
No.
Well, I just didn't know how
Well,
many
listen.
points you wanted to get in. But you,
I'm still telling the same point.
okay, go ahead. I didn't mean.
Let
I
her
didn't
finish
mean to
the
interrupt.
point. She's our guest. Let her finish.
I'm
I
saying,
didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm saying there are people that are happily married. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm just saying I think that there are the more majority of people that are staying married are not the ones that are happily married, but they're the ones who are just drifting through and unhappy and unsuccessful, and not their needs aren't being met.
Okay.
Got it.
Khaled, what do you say?
Well, 23 people I know are divorcing.
Okay.
So the numbers are speaking, and the numbers are loud. And I haven't mentioned a number of friends who are married who just said what Chicken just said, that Khalid, I've been married 30 years. Where I'm supposed to go? You know what I'm saying? I just wait for the grandkids to come over. We pay the bills, and basically we're roommates.
Right.
And 3 years ago, when I told my friends I was in a buddy with benefits relationship, oh man, I got snobbed out. I got looked sideways. Now I'm getting the phone calls. Hey,
How you
Khalid,
do that?
break that down to me, brother, because 3 years in it, you seem real happy. What am I missing? And again, what it is that I'm divorced and healed. She's divorced and healed. And when you bring two healed, healthy people together,
Awesome.
how can you not win?
That part.
How can you not win? You know?
Well, I mean, realistically, with friends with benefits, the stakes aren't that high.
Exactly. And
For 3
Can I
years.
respond, yeah?
But go ahead.
Stakes still aren't
That
high.
was fine.
I've had a
They higher.
situationship.
can I respond yet?
Go ahead.
I get a shot.
Yeah, you can get a shot.
All
Go
right, cool.
ahead.
I agree with what Khalid said. I don't agree with what you said. Here's why. I hear a lot of unmarried people try to poke holes in marriage, and I'll always ask them, let's look at the general population of unmarried people. They're sleeping with a different person every other year. They clearly don't have any, they're clearly unhappy.
Chicken's like everything.
Hold on, wait a minute. They are steadily climbing from person to person, yet they're pointing fingers saying these people aren't happy. So, but what he said is real. The truth is, a lot of the population isn't happy or fixed. And unless you're healed, you can't make it in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. You damn sure ain't gonna make it in a marriage. So we have a lot of men who need healing, a lot of women who need healing, and the majority of those people are unmarried. There are only 1 in 4 African-American women who are married. So the majority of unhappy women are unmarried. There's only 37% of men who are married. So the majority of unhappy men are not married. That is just a fallacy that is grossly overstated. Because at least the people married, because you just said the man stops doing it, the woman just automatically leaves. Are women stupid? Are all these women? So what the single detractor of marriage will say, oh, those women are just staying because of XYZ. Oh, they're unhappy. They're just putting up with this guy. Maybe not. Maybe that they've been single. Maybe they're making a conscious choice that this situation's better because I got somebody to help me raise my kids. I got somebody to help me pay these bills. And I will tell you, any study, because I don't look at my friends when I talk about relationships. I look at real data. And every statistic says from the last few decades, single women live longer, married women report being happier. So those are large numbers. You can look it up yourself.
So I'm going to say, right, I typically don't like to throw my degree around, but I am a psychology major, and I have a master's degree in psychology. And one of the things in which that I had to do was, I think it's called methodological, whatever.
If you can't pronounce it, you ain't too good at it.
Oh, Kris. Oh, God.
My point is that the statistics that you are throwing around have nothing to do with everybody. The statistics
no statistic does.
The statistics that you are throwing around does not represent the demographic of what we're talking about. This man here just sat here and talked about the people in which that he has met. He talked about 23 couples. He talked about
who you met has nothing to do with statistics. Who you know has nothing to do with statistics.
Just like your statistics
Let me ask you this.
nothing to do with common sense.
Do people who go to college generally make more than people who go to high school?
No.
Wait a minute. You're about to destroy all credibility you have. Do people who go to college generally make more than people who go to high school?
No.
Reese, why don't you chime in? Do people who go to college generally make more than people who go to high school?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's probably more people that don't go to college, so but they don't.
They don't.
They
but
don't.
there
I
are
said
people.
no.
But there is a small faction of folks who didn't go to college who make
a
more.
lot more. Exactly.
But the majority
They're
of people,
outliers.
they're out. Thank you, Jamie.
What'd you say?
They're outliers.
outliers.
The majority of
What's an
college.
outlier?
An outlier is somebody who's
outliers,
outside
yes,
of the.
I got you.
So what you're doing is pointing to the outliers. What I'm speaking of is generally true.
All I'm saying is your generalization
Means something.
means different from
Do
what
NBA players make
from
more than
what-
people that sell real estate?
Okay, so let's go back to this. Let's go
Yes,
back to
they
this.
do. But there are people
Here's
who
my
sell real
question.
estate
Here's
who
my
make more.
question. Are you the expert or is he the expert? Because
Expert
you have experts on
in
your
what?
show. You have your experts on the show, right?
Expert in what?
You have
Nobody is an
experts-
expert in. What's the
Hold
name of
on.
this
I thought
show?
he was the expert.
Hold on.
Didn't he call you
Hold-
expert
hold
when you
on.
came on the show,
Hold
sir?
on.
Mr. Khaled.
Hold on.
Okay.
He handles divorces. He tries to keep people together, or he counsels them. But the name of the show are
Trade-offs.
trade-offs. There is no specialty in trade-offs. All right. So
Well,
no.
I have a degree in trade-offs.
Right.
No, I don't. Not even close.
Not even close.
But everyone's got see.
I agree with what she's saying.
I do,
But there's
on
so
principle.
many more single people. Is all I'm saying. The majority. That's the only disagreement I really have with you.
And
I
that's
agree with-
fine. He just told me that 23 more couples just became single again. So I know there are more single people because
Right.
23 people just divorced. So now they're single. So I'm sure that there are more single
Okay,
people.
there are 3,000 people still married.
Yeah.
23 divorced. Okay.
What, can I throw this out? Can I throw this out?
Absolutely.
The majority of my friends who are divorced or divorcing, prior to the divorce, they jumped right back into relationships.
Right.
You would think they would have did the detox. You would have think they would have did that. Well, let me get to know who I am. Let me figure out what my pros and cons, my deficits.
That's what I like. I don't think people do that.
Right. I agree.
But what happens is this. Like one of my frat brothers, he who's 68 years old, was married 41 years, and he divorced in January and got engaged on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And
He
so
like-
when I
He had that lined up.
All right. He was already with her.
He ain't
Been with
shit.
her
He
for 10 years.
he was already with her though.
He ain't.
for 15
Which
He ain't.
means,
He wrong.
which proves my point.
He
I'm sorry,
wrong.
Khalid. Which proves my point, though. He had checked out of his marriage years ago. That his current marriage for 41 years, he checked out with her years ago
Easily
and started
25
with this
years.
new person. But that's my point. But go ahead. I'm sorry,
He
Khalid.
found
Man,
he had
man,
love. He had love at first
Hey, don't
sight.
speak about the alpha bros like that, bro. Hey,
Oh, I
don't do
forgot.
that.
I
Hey,
forgot.
don't do that, Khalid. Don't speak about us like that, bro.
I
Alpha
forgot.
man don't do that, man.
I'm sorry.
You sure?
Sorry about that 06. Sorry about that, brother. Sorry about that, my 06. I got all the alphas on Khalid, the producer. You said they just ganged up on me.
Y'all and the fraternities and the sororities. Okay.
They basically he just
So-
said, Chris, don't wear that hat again.
So, brother.
I got ain't no
Khalid.
disrespect. See,
Khalid.
I don't like when they get like that. They supposed
Okay.
to, they businessmen.
Okay,
They are
back to
not
the
supposed to be
topic,
like
because we
that.
don't have that many minutes left.
Oh, sorry about that.
Khalid. So this is so we interrupted you. So he got married. So he was married for 41 years, and was she the side piece or like what happened?
Well, when I asked him, because I didn't even know he got divorced.
Oh,
So
okay.
what happened was he said, Khalid, the year I was separated, I met her. Right. But he was separated.
That's what he's
still in the
admitting
house.
to.
Right. Right.
But he was separated, but still living in the marriage house.
Okay.
And so what
He was
happens
still
now?
hitting it from time to time. Go ahead.
Right. So what happens is now his children don't speak to him no more because they mad. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
And I said, brother, why would you get engaged 1 month after your divorce? And he was like, Khalid, I cannot be alone. I've been in a relationship since I was in my early 20s.
Yeah, a lot of people, they just get accustomed to it.
Yeah. And what I told him is, please have a long engagement and do both individual therapy so you can work out your stuff, and then put you and your new fiance in couples counseling.
And that's the best way to do it.
Yes.
And that is why a lot of relationships aren't working. I went through premarital counseling. I don't think a lot of people do that.
I definitely did that.
The expectations have to be met. And you constantly have to check in with each other because
I got you. I still remember.
it's work. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a lot of work.
It's work, and I don't think people are ready for that, especially in a me, I got to be happy society that we're in now. Marriage is technically, if you really listen, and the reason I think it's a duty.
It is a duty.
All you're doing is saying, hey, life is going to be hard if I never get married. Life's going to be hard as hell. But I decide to get married means I respect, trust you enough that I choose to go through this thing with you.
Choose your heart, right?
Right. And if you do it right, you should be happy. But, you're doing it to get through it. But I do agree in terms of, you mentioned it earlier, I think the expectations are a little bit different. I don't think marriage has changed per se. I think the expectations are different. And I could be wrong. It just seems like people are expecting so much more. Like, if I don't see fireworks, I'm out.
Because there's so much more available now.
And that's what I was.
Like back in
I
the
agree with
day,
that.
like I think you mentioned on Facebook once before, like back in the day, it was just you bring the grandfather bring home his check.
You, the wagon, the farm, and the kids.
We make it happen, But now, women have jobs, women have
they got sneaky
kids.
links.
They don't need sneaky links if the husband is doing what he was doing in the beginning. Like you asked what my main thing is. I need a man that is a provider and that can lay pipe. That's what I need. That's my main. Like those are my non-negotiables. Non-negotiables. I need a provider and a man that can lay pipe. Those two things are non-negotiable. But anyway, and then everything else we can talk about. But those are the two non-negotiables. I need those in one person.
Because I don't think that man. For the person trying to get married,
he doesn't exist.
I'm not saying he doesn't exist.
Oh,
I'm saying
it's not really a difficult
most marriages that work don't work because those two things were the most important items. People don't stay together because somebody can lay some pipe. Men don't stay with women just because they can get down in the bed. If that being the case, we'd marry a bunch of strippers because they the coldest with it.
Did you hear what I said? There was two things.
Provider.
Because I wouldn't stay with a man just because he got good penis.
Yeah,
I wouldn't stay with a man.
Those are the top two things.
I said those are the two.
Both
things are non-negotiable.
What was your first one?
Provider and good.
All I heard was lay pipe and I stopped.
Slam it down in the bathroom.
Provider
because the two
and lay
of those,
pipe.
I feel like we can work
so
around.
So he can be
something.
dishonest.
We can work around dishonesty.
Can we?
I can.
Most people can't.
I can work around dishonesty because the reason, because if he's laying pipe appropriately and he's providing appropriately, we can talk about what the dishonesty is about.
He can lie.
I'm saying, but what would he lie about?
He can cheat.
What would he cheat about?
What would he cheat about? Some people are just cheaters.
Because if he's providing appropriately,
there are plenty of hoes around
not true.
that are more than happy to hook up with your husband.
Like, I'm not saying that that's the only thing. Right. I said those are my two non-negotiables.
That's hilarious.
I should have said that. Those are my non-negotiables. You said, what are your non-negotiables earlier? Those are my non-negotiables. Now, everything else, obviously, we got to work on, but those two are non-negotiable.
I really was expecting to hear something like loyalty, trust, respect. She's like, nope, provide.
And give me some dick.
Those are just non-negotiables. I'm just saying those are non-negotiables. That's all I'm saying. I want you to be loyal.
Scorpio.
I am a Scorpio.
Scorpios for sure.
Khalid, the marriages that usually last, right? What do you think those people have in common? Obviously, they're patient. They know each other. I've asked a lot of couples, Gina, we do this show. I always ask any elderly couples.
I
who've
love
been
asking, what's the secret?
30, 40, and not one of them has ever said
it was the Disney.
it was his Disney or it was his money. They've never said that. I've never heard it. I ask them every time I get a chance. But Khalid, you see people, obviously some that have worked. What do you, and there's no magic bullet, but what do couples who usually make it have?
What I see, the common denominator is that we have a genuine love for each other and respect.
Yeah, I think that respect is huge.
It's very important.
Right. And because when I respect you, I will think twice about cheating on you. I will think twice about going to Harrah's and spending our mortgage money on you. I think twice about when you have a long day at work, because I respect your grind, I'm going to make sure that meal is ready for you. I'm going to, I love our kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's love, and a love with a foundation of respect.
Yeah. I don't think, at least from a male perspective, you know, I think men put respect over love. I will even say that.
Because if we go by your interpretation, the Bible says that women are to respect men, and women are to love their husbands. So men aren't required to respect.
Men are required
their wives.
Love their wives as they love the Lord.
That's right.
It is a
not
big
respect. Not respect.
That is not foundationally not true.
Oh, that's what the Bible says.
The Bible never says men don't have to respect women.
No.
I'm saying by the Bible.
I'm just saying for him. That's why I limit this to him. For you,
there's
I'm
nothing
saying
in the Bible that
says that the wives are to respect their husbands. Does it say that? Does the Bible say that the wives are to respect their husbands?
Absolutely.
Okay, and then my question is, does the Bible say that men are to love their wives?
As they love the Lord.
Correct. So all I was saying for you, I'm not debating scripture at all. I was just saying for your perspective, I was agreeing with you. You said that men put love over respect. That's what you said.
I'm saying a man needs respect from a woman.
Yes, that's why I was agreeing with you. But I'm saying that's based on you, because you speak Bible language. I'm saying based on Bible language, you're right. That's how it is in Bible language.
If you want, no, you're not saying the whole story. If you're gonna say it, you're gonna say it.
Okay.
The man in the Bible, I mean, he provides for everybody, right? So to say he doesn't, why would you not respect somebody who you provide for? Why would you protect somebody that you don't love and respect?
No, he just loves her. He loves her. He's supposed to love her. You protect and you provide the woman
If he's being a good man and a good husband biblically, he's going way above respect.
Okay, now we're in Bible study. So
my bad. I was agreeing with you though.
I agree. I mean, but yeah.
All right,
but
people.
men actually, submission is just a word for respect. And women get all bent out of shape on it. It's not a control factor. Because if you pick the right man and you raise your finger and say, I want to do this, he's going to jump to do it. But if you pick the wrong man, you'll mess around with a dude who's toxic, trying to control you.
Oh, yeah.
But a good man does never try to control.
Hey, I picked two good men. They all know how to
They
do
wasn't that good. You didn't think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I just changed. I told you that. I'm the bad person. I agree.
There's
I
no
admit
bad.
it.
There's
I'm the bad person.
There's no bad.
Because you said women don't do nothing wrong. I'm the person that did wrong.
There's no bad.
Okay.
I would never say that.
I'm the wrong person.
I don't think you were wrong. It just didn't work.
we need another one of these. Like, we need to.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever called themselves bad. That's just not it. You know.
I'm okay with that.
Let's ask our therapist. Am I wrong in telling her that? There's no bad in this, right?
Is there? Not bad.
No, what it is that we make certain decisions based on our life's experiences, right?
Yeah, okay, that's better.
So if I grew up, right, and I saw my mother being a mistress, right, and I said, wow, how I see women and men's relationship is it's an agreement. It's about getting my needs met, right? And so what happens is, doesn't make me a bad person. This was what I was exposed to. But then as I got older, I'm like, my mother did not like being number two. She had, in her head, she had to be number two, right? And when you ask her today, Mom, do you regret it? She said, absolutely. I shouldn't have done it. You know what I'm saying? But because she grew up seeing her father beat my grandmother and have 5 kids outside the marriage, in her young head, she was like, oh no man who I'm married to will do that to me.
And go to sleep.
Right, and go to sleep.
Don't go to sleep.
Right.
I wouldn't hit move.
That's always my thread. Don't go to sleep. All right, we're at 8. We're at time. Good people.
That's
We've
a whole
had
different
a
show.
lovely show tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating.
And Gina, I wasn't being disrespectful. I was trying to find a comment that we could respond on, but we were running out of time.
It's all good. Don't worry about
Brother Scott, thanks for lending your expertise.
Yes.
We're gonna bring this
It was
group back
awesome.
again because I felt it was more in here. I probably should have titled this different. Especially, I'm glad you woke up this show. You see us? She getting used to being in the seat. Before you all quiet, now you're like, well, wait a minute, Kris. I was still talking. That's what we brought you here for. Good job. Oh, and good job, Gina B, as always. Reese, we love you, dog, back there in the booth. We're going to bring you out here one day. Peace and love, Brother Scott. I'll see you on these internet streets, brother.
06.
Yo.
It's so clear to see that you want me free.
Let's go.
Standing my ground, I can't mess around. It's like my time is in